Okay, so several years later, seems like it, uh, had lawnmower catastrophe last weekend and things the weekend before, and anyway, so just now getting to this. I really would like to get this hooked up to the supply today, so that's kind of my goal. Essentially, I've got most of the pieces made already, so there's my piece that goes there, hooks up to there, and then we can come back around and hook to the pressure unit, which comes up and around. And then I've got the two, man, the word fell out of my head. Essentially, the two little sleeves that I can hook up a piece of PVC up between those and that. So I should be set. I think really the next steps are to make sure I got all the pieces I have, know what I'm doing, get all my goodies in here that I need. This is interesting. What's that? That's new. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, but get all, like I said, get all the goodies figured out, exactly where I'm at, get my saw in here, because once I start making the cuts, I'm committed. I think I'm going to go ahead and, I'll have to turn all the power off, all the water off, so I'm going to go make sure I got a drink. We'll have to get all the pressure bled down completely, and then I may make my first cut up there, because I'll have to get the ladder and everything in to make that cut. Or I've got a step stool, it might be able to fit in here, but yeah, essentially go to get that cut and spliced, cut, cleaned. How about this? Cleaned, cut, and then spliced into that, and be happy with it. So I'll see. I didn't really buy any elbows for the thinner pipe, so I'm hoping. I know all this time we've been kind of looking. I think I'm pretty close to being plumb there. So anyway, hopefully. I've hated that angle thing forever. Anyway, so we can do that. The hard cut's really going to be this one here. I'll have to get the Japanese saw in here. I can already cut, so my second cut really will be to get this out of the way, and then I'll try to get a cut right here, right up against this thing. As close as I can get that cut off, and then that hopefully will give me the piece I need to splice in to there, right? I think we already glued this one actually, so yeah, that'll give me the piece that splices in to right there. Yep, I think that's the plan. So I'll go get working on that, and I'll do some videos on the way. Okay, so I haven't really cut into the whole time I've built this unit. I haven't really cut into the house water at all. So that's kind of the moment of the truth, and that's kind of where we're at. I've got the electrical turned off to the water heater and the pump. I've got the faucets open down here in the basement, letting them all drain. I don't really want to make any cuts until I don't have any water draining at all. But I'm about ready to make cuts. Going to do 3 of them. I marked this one, but I just kind of talked myself out of it. I may slide this out a little bit more. There is room down here, and that's just a tad bit OCD there for me, inducing. So I'll get those brackets moved out. And then we'll probably cut all the way here at the end. Then that piece gets an L bracket, and then that L bracket will go up into the bottom of that piece, which goes up to there, and then of course the pump hooks up to that. My one worry is that, and it looks fine, is that I hope I'm the right diameter right there. But anyway, so it'll be 3 cuts. It'll be a cut here, a cut right here at the edge of this unit right here, which I'm not keeping, but I want to keep this piece here to go into the other one. And then we'll do a cut right up there. I do have to make a little small section with a splice, so I got to get that done first. So I'll do that while everything's draining. I got the pipe right here, so I already cut an end off of it. I cut all the bugs out. It had spiders' nests in it, and I tried to clean most of them out, but I really don't want that in my drinking water, so I just cut that section off. I've got to put a little gooby little splice on there. Hit it with some cleaner so it's kind of clean for the seal, and then that one will be ready to go, and then I can use whatever that is for measurement. I'll probably go ahead and do these cuts first. That'll be my last cut, but my first glue up, if that makes sense. So anyway, we'll see where we go. Alright, so I got this piece made. I already had the top part done. This is the part that'll hook into the pressure piece down there. I think my angles are right. Man, I tell you what, that's the spooky part is trying to get the angles right, because this going into the pump is going to be probably just a little bit that way, and then we want this one to be as parallel as we can. Anyway, the sizes fit. I had to remake the bottom piece twice. Measure twice, cut once. Well, I measured once and it looked really good. The problem is that this pipe actually slides 3/4 of an inch up here before it stops. I had assumed a half an inch. Half an inch was wallowy sloppy. So anyway, so I had to basically get an extra piece because I glued it without doing a dry fit. So this time I did a dry fit, got it glued up. At the moment, I think we have our extra little pieces we need to essentially hook into the house at this point. I think at the moment, pressure's down. I wouldn't say pressure's down. As soon as I start cutting into this, I expect water to go every freaking where. But I'm going to make my cuts. I'm going to go ahead and cut at the edge of that elbow. It's closest to the wall, so that elbow, I'm going to make a cut there, make a cut on my inlet, and then make a cut up there. Once I get those glued up, then I'll make the cut up there and get my splice in the very back up here put in. I got to clean that whole tube off and everything. I'll have these all glued up before then. So, gonna try to make some really short vids, glue them together for you. On this part, I will show you my mistakes as well as everything else, because I usually do. But now it's time to put metal to the pipe and get this cut out. So yay! First cut wasn't too bad, was really pretty clean. I made actually a lot less mess than I anticipated. It did have, of course, back pressure on it. This unit down here, sorry for the kind of fuzzy videos, this unit down here actually does have water in it, was under pressure, because that's your pressure tank. I still have some pressure. It's kind of weird to have this open pipe and still show pressure, but that's actually because this unit back here's got pressure on it. You can't really set the pressure of the unit based on this gauge, though. You kind of got to do it off a tire gauge up here. Before I put the whole thing together, I am going to validate one more time that this is that the tank is at 38 psi. So we'll validate that one more time with the with our little air compressor. But that cut was good. So we're gonna sever that. That should actually be, the rest of the cut should be pretty easy. This is the because there's no water in the system heading upstairs, as you can see, because it would have drained out. So we'll get that cut done, and then get the okay, we got our two cuts here done. I got this one moved out of the way, so it's sitting over here. This one is a little interesting to get done, only because that very last half of it just had way too much wiggle room. Look how much tension was on this freaking system. It just freaks me out. Anyway, that's how much tension was on all those pipes all these years. This thing is hanging more plumb I'm getting a lot happier with it. Look at that. Look at that. Man, I'm good. I don't know about that. If I can get this all hooked together and not have it piss water everywhere, then I'll be happy. But anyway, so I may go ahead and crawl up there just to cut that loose to get it out of the way for this next part, because the next part really is doing the dry fit on all these other pieces, making sure they fit. And this thing here is going to be in my way. So I think I'll probably do that. Just pull the stool in here, crawl up there. Won't take very long. I'll cut it off right there at the elbow. That's probably a little shorter than I want, which is fine. And then because this piece is a little longer than that, but that's fine. I can do it to length. I'd rather have it long than short. Can't add material. You can always remove material. Anyway, so next step is crawl up there, see what I can do. Oh, I also took off the actual filters just to give me more room and more adjustment room, because this whole thing's kind of going to be 3D. And I'm doing this, just so you guys know, I'm also doing this at like the hottest friggin' day of the year we've had so far in summer. Luckily the air conditioner's next to me. Unfortunately, my garage is open, so it ain't helping me any. Alright, anyway, so I'm a sweaty little puppy already. Let me see what I can do though and get in there and get that cut. Alright, so we're freed up. The house is unhooked. Now I've got to get my little pieces over here. And since I'm up here, I was planning on this kind of being my last, but I'm going to crawl down and get some cleaning stuff, clean that pipe off, and I can go ahead and get this one fit. I think fairly well. Easy peasy, maybe. We'll see. That's gonna be fun. How much room do I got? Oh, I got plenty up and down room there, so I should be good. Oh yeah, we'll get that fit. That went up like 2 or 3 inches. Anyway, I'll go ahead and pull this down to where it needs to be. So, and like I said, clean that all off. We'll get that one fit. I won't have to worry about it. That's the house inlet line. And then we'll come down here and wrestle all these. So first hurdle of the day. This shim does not fit this CVPC. The pipes are the same size, or just off just a little bit, if you can see. I guess I didn't count on that. I've made a bunch of these kind of CVPC to the PVC joints before. I've never had any issues, but in this case, I guess this pipe is bigger than my shim. So I got an extra shim that I bought. I guess they call them sleeves, but yeah, it doesn't fit on there. I guess that'll be a trip to Lowe's. If my calipers weren't broken, I'd measure that out and see what the hell it is. But yeah, I guess I made a bad judgment in piping. You can see that it's just a little bit thicker. You know, I mean, we're talking hairline. I mean, I could probably get some sandpaper and sand that down. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know how much I have to sand. Of course, it'll all fall in that stupid hole. But that might be an option too. But then again, if I do that, I'm not guaranteed the pipe's going to be perfectly round. So, it took me forever to find these stupid shims at Lowe's too. So I don't even know if they have the shims I want then. Anyway, all right. Well, that's the first hurdle. Let me see if I can get those bottom parts done. All right, so we got this done. Well, not done. Got this bottom part done. Let's put it that way. I still have that top part which the previous video you might have saw. But anyway, so I did have to make a couple changes. Actually, I had to completely redo this piece that I already made. So I've got a yard ornament for usually what happens with PVC pipe. I did have to put an angle in here, if you see, and that's because that PEX that's coming in from the pump itself didn't have enough give to come out to where this ended up, unfortunately. So I was a little bummed about that. And then I kind of wish you had, you know, this is one of those periods where I wish I had a little bit of wane in a 2x4, because there's a little shark bite that they put on that PEX to join these two. It didn't have any give backwards, and I needed just about, oh, I don't know, a 1/16 of an inch backward pressure to get this to mount up, you know, square. And so I had to get the chisels and the stuff out and see if I could split off a piece. So I did. So I split off a little piece of the 2x4. Gives me just enough room for that shark bite connector there to slide that direction a little bit, which was kind of interesting anyway, because the PEX was actually tweaked because of it. Came around, there's your 90 degree. I'm not real thrilled with that, but anyway, I'll be fine with that. Did get the pressure piece hooked in, so this is the pressure unit. Just now got that up. So we got all that going all the way up here. I need to get that last little bit done, but like I said in the last video, this piece, this shim will not fit on CVPC. It'll fit on PVC, obviously. So I'm gonna have to run to Lowe's and get some CVPC shim. Yeah, anyway. So I gotta go do that. Which irritates me a little bit. I did think maybe about scuffing that up. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, it is like so stupid close to going in there. I have another little piece of CVPC laying around, and I'm just like irritated because it's just like so freaking close to sliding into that, but can't seem to get it to go. So anyway, that's the next steps.